to another episode of the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast. This is episode 73. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Ryan Cross, on the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. Today, I have with me Sam Asner and Chad. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Yep.
Hey Ryan. Hey Chad.
Hey Sam. Hey Ryan.
How's everyone's weeks going? Anyone do anything cool gun-related things?
Yes. Two things gun-related. Well, yeah, kind of gun-related. I won the lottery, the turkey lottery. So I got my first choice for my permit, so I can go kill turkeys in the spring.
Sweet.
So that'll be my first time hunting.
Was there a specific weapon that was specified for that?
To my knowledge, I have a bow that I could do the job with too, but to my knowledge, turkey seasons are open here. But the way our turkey seasons work is there's 5 sessions, 4 Monday through Fridays, and the 5th being the corresponding Saturdays. So you can hunt only within your time period. And basically, you can apply for more than one permit, but you're only going to be able to get at most 5 turkeys within 5 days. So that's kind of.
I would suggest. Wait, there's turkeys in New Jersey?
Oh, there's all sorts of wild turkey, yeah.
And they're not in politics, right?
No, they're not all in politics. There are some hopefully tasty turkeys around there. So I got that awesome news in my inbox, and then it stopped being 0 degrees out, and I was able to go to the range today. So that was really exciting for me because it was an eye-opening experience. I have not shot in almost 3 months, and for those out there that are lucky enough to be able to shoot frequently, don't take the fact that it is a perishable skill for granted. I lost a lot of what I had been working on leading up to my drought. So yeah, it was very disappointing. But you know, I'm still doing what I got to do, but it's harder. Anywho, it was a fun day at the range. Got to shoot some stuff that I had recently acquired and haven't gotten a chance to use. So that was fun. And yeah, it was just really nice to have rain today. I said, hey, I said to my friend who went to the range, I said, rain's nice. Because we've been so used to sleet and snow and hail and 10 degrees out, that 50 and rain. I said, oh, I could get along with this. It was nice. That's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
Right on. What about you, Chad? What have you been up to?
Well, let's see. We had a gun show here. The club. It's usually a pretty good show, so I went to it. Looked around, saw all kinds of cool stuff. Bought some magazines, a compensator, and let's see. That was about it. Of course, it's not rainy here. It's actually nice and sunny, so I won't brag too much about that. Then I got a trigger in for review for Rigger LCP, so coming up here in the future, I'll do that review and people can hear about that.
Cool. I myself, I actually had so many projects going on this last weekend that I opted to not go to the range, unfortunately. But what I did do in guns is I have been doing a lot of reviews and kind of preparation for reviews. So some of the items I got coming up, I've got a Pelican case that I got like the 1750. I actually had cut the foam to my rifle and some of the extra accessories. So cutting foam, that's going to be a very interesting review to talk to you guys about because it's very difficult to do if you do not have like some kind of laser mill, CNC, or hot wire. So stay tuned for that. But I think the results are pretty good.
Oh, you already did it, but you're putting it in the review, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
So
It's done.
clothes hanger,
Go ahead.
clothes hanger.
Close hanger.
Yeah, you heat up the clothes hanger hot enough, it should melt the foam coat line. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've
Well, I
never
mean,
tried it. That's my
there's
own musings.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
not
there.
bad.
I looked up. I did some research. There's different ways of doing it, and building your own kind of do-it-yourself hot wire tool. But I'll talk about all that in the review, probably in the 2 episodes, 3 episodes. I got a couple other things that take more priority. I
Gotcha.
got some multiple impact bullets to talk about. I do believe, Sam, you were on the show when we first talked about multiple impact bullets. They come in different colored packs. So there's green, there's orange, and there's red. So there's a non-lethal, and there's semi-lethal, and then there's like definitely kill you dead lethal.
I
And
don't.
so the
That
bullets
wasn't
have
me.
like
It must not been me.
I almost specifically remember criticism in your tone of voice, but it's like uh, they're segmented and they've got like a little tether connecting them, so it's kind of a higher probability of hitting your target. So I got some of those because I met with them at SHOT Show at Range Day. So I'm just trying to get like an awesome target to shoot at because I mean I was going to shoot a paper,
But
but
it
watching some
won't
of these
show you what you want to
videos,
see.
what
It's
you
it's not
gotta
it's not going
well
to give you the effect that you're looking for.
right. So I'm like, well, can I find like go to the butcher and get like a pig and
Oh,
like
whoa.
put a denim jacket on him and see if that worked like how that kind of stuff. So I'm
Ballistics
trying to
gel.
do a little bit more elaborate. Or if I can get some kind of ballistic gelatin made into a torso, something a little bit more, I don't know, like scientific and graphically fun to look at, but more than just holes in paper. So
Right.
I got some 45 auto and that stuff, and for lethals, and I got lethal and slightly less lethal of the 12 gauge slugs. So thankfully they didn't send me anything that's non-lethal, so my friends do not get the opportunity to shoot me because I had too many of my what I thought were friends that were jumping at the chance to shoot me. So unfortunately that won't be happening.
Cool.
So yeah, anyway, lots of reviews, lots of work. Hopefully I can make it to the range. I got the ejector fixed on my Remington 700s and 300 blackout, so finally get to zero that thing in and shoot some bullets through it. And well, I shot bullets through it, but they just weren't extracting, so it was kind of a pain in the butt. So now I'll get to enjoy the full experience and hopefully see just how good it does. I picked up some Gemtech 300 blackout, like super good deals, like $21, $22 a box, and they're 185 grain black tipped, good looking subsonic ammo for surprisingly cheap. So hoping to test some of that out as well.
Cool.
Anywho, that was long-winded. Now on to the announcements. Guests are always welcome. I've said it once. I've said it many times. If you're interested in coming on the show, shoot me an email, cross@firearmsradio.tv. If you'd like to join the show, we'd love to have you on. Other announcements, the Facebook 500 likes giveaway. Announced 2 winners last week. I only had 1 winner contact me or go on the Firearms Insider page and comment on that and let me know who they were and how to get them their prize. So that's 1 down. However, I gave the other winner a whole week. I haven't heard anything from him, so we're going to be announcing a new winner today. And the next one in that random generated list was Nick Roney, or Ronnie, R-O-N-E-Y. So Nick, if you would go on over to the Firearms Insider Facebook page and shoot us a message or email me across at firearmsradio.tv and give me your address, and then I'll send you the sweet SHOT Show swag package.
Nice.
And then you've also got a week to claim it, or else I gotta give it to the next person in line. So anyway, the next giveaway that we're going to be doing is an iTunes review giveaway. So you go onto iTunes and you go find the Gun and Gear Review podcast, and you give us a review. and you will be entered for a chance to win the Gunstruction SHOT Show promo pack. So I've got 2 of these. Unfortunately, they are only for iPhone users, so if you are an Android user, you can send your hate mail to Sam at. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, Sam, you got an Android, don't you?
No, iPhone
You're an
5S.
iPhone. Okay,
Yeah,
sweet.
drink that Kool-Aid hard.
So in the each one of these, you get some sweet patches. So we got this low speed, high drag patch with the Gunstruction logos on there, as well as this banner patch that says SHOT Show 2015.
That's cool.
In kind of that arcing banner shape. There's also a patch that's like as seen on IG, which is Instagram.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're
Shaped
so
like
there's also
TV.
it's kind of like as seen on TV.
Yeah.
The other really cool thing, arguably the coolest thing, is you get a polymer dust cover for an AR-15 that's got the Gunstruction logo kind of molded into it.
Ooh.
This is a beastly dust cover. I'd love to put this on a gun. So you have an AR-15, you can slap this to replace your existing dust cover, and you'll be rolling deep, my friend, in awesomeness.
In low speed high drag, or is that high speed low drag?
It's low speed high drag. It's the opposite.
It's all the drags.
If it's me,
Yeah.
it's low speed, low drag.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, anyway, and then also there's a promo code on the back of this card. Not gonna show it to you, and it lets you download the iPhone version of the Gunstruction app for free, which is like $1.99 if you were to buy it. So I'm saving you $2, and I'm also giving you some awesome patches and an awesome dust cover. And then you can download the app. And if you're not aware, Gunstruction is a must-have app for anyone that's interested in AR-15s or AR-10s. You can literally build a 3D model of the gun of your dreams. You know, whatever length barrel, whatever stock, colors, optics. You can basically, you know, get all your gun AR-15 fetishes out onto a 3D model. Save it to your phone, save it to your computer, show your friends, hide it from your wife. Do all that sort of stuff on the app. So make sure you like us on iTunes, and you'll get a chance to win one of these packets. I do have 2, so there'll be 2 winners. So what I want you guys to do is leave us an iTunes review, and the deadline, I'm setting it to April 30th. So that week, I'll be looking at the reviews and assigning them all a number, doing a random number selection, and then the 2 winners will be chosen for that. So you've got till April 30th to leave us an iTunes review. So now on to the product spotlight. And this week, I should have mentioned at the beginning of the show, is going to be a rimfire special, meaning that all the products that we're going to be talking about today have to do with rimfire, be it 22 or 17.
I was like, it looks like everything's kind of 22 here. What's that?
Yeah,
Well, there's a couple
You're so
of them.
smart, Ryan. You tricked me.
I was in a 22 kind of state of mind, so I was in a mood. So the first up we're going to be talking about today is something that is kind of the inspiration for this episode, because I saw it when I was putting the show notes together for last episode, and just the way products added up, I was saving it for this show. But it just kind of it inspired so much wanting and lusting and coveting that I decided to just run with the whole 22 long rifle thing for this show. So it's the Tactical Solutions 2211 conversion. So not 1911, 2211 conversion. So what this is it takes your 1911 and replaces the slide with a 22 caliber slide. And boy, do I want one hard. I know, Sam, you're going to call this dirty at some point, aren't you?
See, I'm
dirty?
so cost averse that it doesn't get my loins a tingling as it should, but this thing is dirty.
All right.
It is dirty. I'm giving it the Sam Dirty stamp of approval. But oh man, is that expensive for a conversion?
Expensive, but the tactical solutions ones usually seem to work from what I've heard. And
Yeah.
it's nice looking. It's got a threaded barrel for you.
Yeah, I mean it looks sweet. It'd probably be amazing. But it's just I'd rather, because there's dedicated 22 1911s right now out there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like the same thing like we talked about the M1 Grand last time I was on, Ryan. How the was it Kingston Army or something was making a 22 caliber. Basically, it was a souped up 22. What was it? A souped up 1022 receiver in a M1 Grand stock sort of hybrid thing. But if you're gonna spend 700, spend a few more hundred and get a grand. If I'm gonna spend 500 on a conversion, I'd rather spend one or two more and get an actual a dedicated 22.
Well, and some of the 22s, actual 22s, are less expensive than this conversion kit.
Well, there you go. Even better.
Well, think of it this way: you have your 1911 with the controls, the hammer, and actually I don't know if the hammer comes off, but the trigger and the grip, all that you love, and be able to just, you know what, I don't feel like shooting 45 auto today. I'm gonna pop the slide off, put on this Tactical Solutions slide, and shoot 22. Or it's a way of having two guns with only having one frame. And I've got a couple that are like that. I had more. It's kind of the same thing with having one lower and two uppers for an AR-15.
What do you mean the hammer comes off?
I was trying to say that there's controls, and maybe you've spent some extra money on a nicer 1911, but the hammer would not come with. You wouldn't use the same hammer, not like you need that anyway. But I mean, like the trigger and your grips and all that stuff stays the same. So anyway, let's get into. You guys are probably wondering what the heck are these guys talking about. So. The MSRP, you get two options. They've got one that is just a standard rail, which actually is not railed for optics or anything like that. It's got just they call it the standard. That's $450. And then you have the combo rail model, and that's $475. So extra $25, you get some Picatinny rail that goes over the top of the slide, and you can easily put a red dot on there, any red dot you want. A Spark, a Burst, Fast Fire.
Spark 2, just ordered another one.
A Spark 2? You got two now? Man.
Yeah, the Spark 2's going on the Turkey Assassin.
So let's take a look at the combo rail one, because that's obviously the most awesome, because it basically turns your 1911 into a tactical plinker. So it's got a threaded barrel. So if you want to put some kind of compensator, although you don't really need to compensate 22 long rifle, but more importantly, if you have a 22 caliber suppressor, heck yeah, dude, put that on this guy, and you're shooting suppressed 22 out of your 1911, and John Moses Browning is giving you a high five or a thumbs up from the grave. I don't think that's true, but I like to think so. It makes me feel better. So anyway, the barrel length is 4.8 inches. The weight is 18.8 ounces. The twist rate is 1 in 16, and the threads are 1/2 by 28. You can get a non-threaded model, and it just saves you 0.2 ounces. And the barrel length is 4.5 inches. So it looks like you can also get a stainless steel model too. I'm assuming that's what SS means. And that's, let's see, for the threaded barrel rail combo, stainless steel, $525. And then for the non-threaded, let's see, actually it does have the Picatinny rail, but it's not threaded. That's $475.
What's WB?
I haven't figured that out yet.
Because that's the most expensive
Um,
model, is the threaded WB combo rail.
Oh, it's the wide body.
Oh, a double stack.
Yeah.
Oh, so the double stack threaded with a combo rail, $575. Yikes.
yeah. So there's 22. There's double stack 22 1911 magazines out there, or are they still single stack?
I don't know. It looks like they're still single stack
What's that?
but I'm
The
guessing,
the actual magazine's function?
yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
No,
just,
I think it's still just a single stack of 22
it's
bullets,
just
but it's
if
obviously
your
a
host
larger
frame
magazine.
right, it's
if your
wider.
host frame is wide body. Okay.
Right.
So you can choose from the wide body with a single stack when you're checking out. So yeah, that makes sense. And let's see, it does come with at least one magazine. Heck,
Hmm.
single stack conversions now come with a 10-round Yeagman polymer magazine. Aluminum 10-round magazines are still available for purchase. Um, I love this thing. I have a Ruger SR 1911 in a Commander. They can't legally call it a Commander, but it's just the SR 1911C. I'd love to put this on there because it's got the black controls, and it would look filthy on there. I've got the 22 can. I've got red dots of the yin yang.
Rick, that's out the
Be
game.
awesome. Up the wazoo. Yeah, this would be awesome. I'd love to shoot. I don't know as far as accuracy wise if it's going to be on par with like my Ruger Mark III. But I don't shoot the Mark III just because I never want to clean it because I never want to disassemble it. Where this would be much easier to manage. But I think it's cool. I think that the sights are not tall enough to where if you did put a red dot on there, I don't think there'd be a chance of them co-witnessing. But it's nice if your optics went down, or you had to pull them off, you still have your iron sights on there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the product looks awesome. It's just pricey for me.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's a little high priced, but I'd still probably get one.
yeah, I mean, tactical solutions stuff is expensive. I mean, even getting like the accessory rail, so my gunsmith can put it on the bottom of my Mark III. The rail itself was like stupid expensive for just a rail that's so it says tactical solutions imprinted on it. So yeah, that's a bummer. But I mean, if you don't want to go out and buy a new gun,
Yeah, but if you're
this
in a
would be a
free
great.
state, going to your local gun store and buying a gun is probably easier than buying this online and waiting for it to ship. For
Well,
me, it would
that's
be, for a New Jerseyan, it's probably more convenient to get a conversion. But
maybe I was thinking about that.
are you? You looking out for me?
Yeah, I've got you,
I've been
buddy.
getting this feeling like I should go apply for more pistol permits for some reason.
We'll see, with a conversion kit, you don't need to apply for a new pistol permit.
Yeah, but that's half the fun. It's like part of the charm.
Okay, I'll stick with my non-charm then.
Some people might want to, if they've just got a government pistol that's got, sentimental value, just use the same frame and put the slide over it. I mean, to me, that's got some appeal. I understand that, you're all about $500 with tax. Man, that's almost like, just going and getting one of those Rock Island Armory 22 caliber 1911s. But I don't know. Tactical Solutions just I don't know. I want to get it because I know it's quality. I know it's going to work well. I think that this is a kind of a sexy product that's out there that I find more appealing than just getting a different gun.
Okay.
But I don't really have much more space in my gun safe for new guns, so maybe that's what I'm thinking too.
Elaborate, Ryan. I don't know how familiar you are. If you could elaborate on the function of this, because it looks like the way the lines are and the way the barrel looks to sit. Does the barrel stay fixed on this conversion? Like, how does this operate? Because if you look at the lines, like they have very Desert Eagle-y lines, as if that slide is going to slide, but that barrel is going to stay put. It could, and then if you look on the side of the like where's the ejection port? You know, it looks a little like funky in a good way. Like this might be a different way of looking at things. I don't know exactly how it's supposed to operate. That's my
Yeah, I was
question.
kind of
You see
wondering.
what I'm talking about, Chad? The
Yeah, it
like you
looks
almost
like
feel like that barrel is going to stay fixed. 'Cause, I
right.
mean, it's a beefy bull barrel. Like
Yeah, and then the slide, not the sight, like the slide under the
yeah,
sight, and then all
yeah.
the way
You
up
know
to
what?
the front slides
You know what it
back.
looks like? It looks like I don't know another 22 to like, but I have a Smith & Wesson 22-A, which is kind of like their Mark III-ish, Buckmark-ish type. You know, it's very similar to a Smith & Wesson 22 or a Buckmark. Like if you chopped where the barrel ends, if you chop that, like the whole slide is just like this little bitty part that slides back, but
Right.
the barrel is fixed to the frame, and the sights and the rail come up and over that slide thing. That's not attached to the frame. It's attached to the barrel, which is attached to the frame. That's what this
Yeah,
conversion looks like it's going to do.
that's what it looks like to me also.
Yeah, it is
That's
it's a straight blowback action.
And I
mhm.
couldn't actually find anything when I
Oh
was looking
man.
to
How about
see.
YouTube?
I'm looking at a review on Guns and Ammo about it.
Like even
But
a
yeah,
picture of it locked to rear would help.
Yeah.
you guys are making me feel like I did not do my
Wait,
due
yep,
diligence.
yeah. Let me look. I found a video.
And
So
it's
while you're looking at that, I'll just tell
Yep.
the listeners that
Yeah, we're right.
the rear sight, it's an STI fully adjustable sight, so STI International. So would you figure out on that?
I'll put a link in the show notes so that people can look at it. It's exactly what I was saying. The basically it looks like, I don't know how it exactly. It's probably a hole that the barrel link pin or whatever that's called goes through. Uh, it fixes it to the frame. So basically, the barrel gets fixed to the frame, and that whole top rail and rear sight is attached to the barrel, and that whole bottom half of that slide, the actual slide is really only those serrated parts that you see. That's the stuff that's the movie bits. And the video just had the worst case of flinch I've ever seen. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this thing is awesome. I want one now.
now he wants one.
No, because what it does is you're gonna. Oh, I would love to see how accurate these things are, because like in design, you're gonna get the accuracy of a Mark 1, 2, 3, Buckmark, Smith & Wesson 22, but most of those guns have one problem: they kind of look ugly for the most part. You know, they're all like they look like 22s, like you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're all funky looking, but this kind of hides that. It retains those principles, throws in a 1911, which has much better ergos, and it doesn't look as dinky or weird or space gunny like blastery, like picture the Beretta Neos, which looks like a ray gun. You know, oh, this is sweet. Still a touch expensive,
See,
like 375 to 400. I would be really excited about, but when you're looking at 550 for the top rail, eh. But
yeah,
I'm warming up to it.
Yeah.
I knew you would.
Oh, you had faith. Thank you.
Yeah.
See if they'll send you
So
one.
yeah, hopefully. I think I just made a sale, so if you guys want to email me and send me a commissions check, that'd be great.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll probably end up getting one of these days too. But in reading some of these reviews on the like Guns and Ammo, they said that Technical Solutions advises that since 1911 manufacturing tolerances kind of vary, sometimes they vary a lot. They can't guarantee that the 2211 conversion will work on all frames without some fitting. So, for example, they tried it on a couple Nighthawk custom frames, and
Well,
it
of
didn't
course
really
they
work.
did.
It didn't mate correctly. Yeah, of course. But
Because, I
it
mean, who
mounted
doesn't
on an
have
old Colt
$3,000
Series.
1911s hanging around to throw conversions on?
Right. But they did say that it would mount on an old Colt Series 70 frame. So I mean, I know a lot of frames are based in the Series 70.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on how in spec they are.
Like, obviously, this
Um,
isn't aimed at the tourist buyers or the Rock Island buyers to put on theirs. Like,
right.
just price and quality wise, I get that. Maybe it's aimed at like the Kimber classes, like the mid to lower Kimbers. You know,
Yeah. Well, if
price
you
point like
spent as much on a Kimber, you're gonna want to save some money on ammo. So that right there makes sense to me.
yeah, but Kimber
It's
makes a
hard to
conversion
afford.
too, though. I
Yeah.
believe
I mean, like if you got like a really nice Kimber 1911,
this
you
thing
know,
is probably, man. This I'd love to see this thing group.
yeah, need
Awesome.
to. It looks like they do have an option for a fiber optic front sight too,
Yes.
instead of just the black blade.
I mean, but if you're getting that top rail, you better be throwing some dots on there. All the
Yeah,
dots, 2 of them back to back.
yeah. An ACOG with a magnifier.
An ACOG, you're gonna run an ACOG with the RMR on there, and then one of those loopholed XLR whatevers, so you could see around the side.
D Evo. Yeah.
The
That.
D Evo.
Yeah. Actually, I think an ACOG would be actually really cool if you had, or some kind of optic that would mount on that rail and give you like a 4 times magnification or a 3. I think that
Yeah,
would be pretty legit.
yeah. I mean, simple pistol
So
scope would probably do it.
yeah, that too. Oh yeah, the eye relief. That's right. ACOG doesn't make a enhanced extended eye relief scope yet, do they?
Yeah,
Like a scout scope.
yeah.
Anyway, if you're interested
Cool.
in what we're drooling over and gabbing about, going over to Tactical Solutions website is tacticalsol.com, and then just look for their 2211 series under their pistol upgrades and accessories tab. I love their website. So the next product we got this week is a couple episodes ago I talked about Mossberg's Blaze rifle and their Blaze 47, which is kind of their run at the 1022 market, is what I think. And it got me thinking of, well, who else makes a 22 caliber AK-47 that's not, that's actually maybe a little bit higher quality and more desirable? And then I just looked it up and I found GSG, which is a kind of more infamously known with American Tactical ATI. But they make a AK-47 and 22 long rifle. So that's what we're going to be talking about next. And I'd love to get your guys' input on what you think about it compared to, I don't know if you listen, Sam, I don't know if you listened to the episode where I talked about the Mossberg 47, the
No.
Blaze 47.
I was on that.
Kind of like
episode.
it's like a polymer. It's
Oh, it's one of those where the whole thing's just a blob of polymer in the shape of an AK-47.
No, it wasn't
yeah,
really in
I've
the
seen,
shape.
yeah, I've seen more realistic AK-47 like airsoft replicas, but this looks like it's actually what you would consider closer to a manufactured AK-47, not just like a knockoff.
Man, that Blaze 47 looks like a toy.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Ew.
Now you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Ew.
But no, this.
Listen, ATI and GSG, they're like up and down. Like, for example, I was my friend's trying to sell it because he just doesn't shoot it anymore. He's too lazy to clean it. It's not easy to clean. One of the original GSG MP5 clones with like the fake screw-on can, fixed stock, all that. And the entire receiver is like just in the pistol grip too is all like one piece of molded polymer, and it's just like there's no attention to detail there, so not like the best experience with GSG. I mean, the thing shoots great, shoots great. It's really fun to operate. You know, it's got that wacky H&K smacky bar thing.
Yeah.
The way their charging handles are set up are all, you know, really fun. That's cool. But just the overall fit and finish is just like, eh. You know, even for 200, I really don't feel like buying it from them. You know. Anywho,
Well,
this
hopefully
thing,
this is a little different.
this thing looks different because it looks like it's clearly a pistol grip that's attached to a receiver. The receiver and the dust cover they look different, so it looks like it's probably reasonable to disassemble. I don't know how the like actual mechanism is inside, but the magazine release looks legit. You know, I'm trying to see better close-ups of it,
Yeah.
but just from the one picture on the website, it's all right. I'm watching the YouTube, the video they have embedded on the page to kind of see if they flash across something closer.
Yeah.
But
So
the
it's
synthetic and the wood both look kind of cool.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's $415 or $416. It's got a capacity of 24. Its total weight is, I just saw that, 6.5 pounds. The barrel length is 16 and a half. So it looks more authentic like an AK-47. The fact that you can get it in the wood, I think the wood furniture looks much more attractive, at least to me. But this is kind of like for somebody that has kids and, you know, instead of like you got the AR-15 guy and he wants to get the conversion kit or a dedicated 22 long rifle AR-15 for his kids to shoot so they can start learning, you know, the ergonomics and whatnot. It doesn't recoil as hard, or maybe you're not a kid, maybe you're just trying to teach someone to shoot that's a little recoil sensitive. You know, but maybe that's for the AR-15 guy. What if you're not an AR-15 guy at all, and you have an AK, and you want your kid or your significant other that wants to, you know, kind of shoot with you at the range to have an AK-47 that is in a caliber that suits them better? Bam! I think that if you're an AK guy, this might be up your alley for getting your kids to shoot an AK platform.
I'm also giving this a tentative stamp of dirt approval. If you watch that video that's embedded in the linked website, the ATI website, just the way the magazines work, like you have to rock them in like an AK, the magazine release, the safety, even the charging handle, or rather the bolt handle, and the way the bolt functions. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
Looks like they know what they're doing.
that's what I was thinking.
The more modern, you know, style with the scope base where you can get the mount, the quick detach mount. It's cool. It's getting a tentative dirt stamp. Looks like the receiver is very well constructed. You know, it looks legit. My only gripe again is similar to that M1 Garand, right? And also similar to which is what kind of keeps me from getting one of the STG-44 clones as well, is when you run 22 through something that's that weighty, and you could see in the video, like, there's zero recoil, and almost when you lack recoil, like, I'm not a recoil junkie, like, don't get me wrong, I don't like go search out magnum calibers to punish myself, but I don't know, sometimes if a gun's too substantial, the recoil is kind of, you know, I don't know.
Kind of takes some of the excitement out of it.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of lead out of the pencil, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying.
Fit and finish and function, this thing looks top notch. Definitely worth the price.
And actually, I found it on Tombstone Tactical's website for $368.43. Wow. They've got the MSRP for $399.95, which is a different MSRP than ATI's actual website. But so anyway, it looks like you'll be able to get it for well under $400, which that do you still stand by your argument of, well, throw in another couple hundred and you've got the real deal?
I don't, because the stakes are lower. You can get a Wasser for 550. You can get this, and I think they serve different purposes. For 360, right? 360 is still close enough to the impulse range. Like 300 is kind of like the impulse umbrella, and 360 is like, okay, I'll be cheap at lunch for the next 2 weeks, to make up for the extra little bit that I'm not willing to spend. 700 well outside. 500 for a conversion slide, well outside. And I tend to think of 22 things as like impulsive things. It's not, okay, this is a defensive tool, or this is, a hunting application. This is something pure plinking enjoyment. And so within that, like 3 to 360, probably 375 most places, buy it if you can get it. And if it's your thing, if you like it, get it. Then again, well, $200 more, but $200 more, you're still 150 less than that 22 grand to get a Wasser or an NPAP. It's,
yeah.
I think it's like apples and oranges. It's like different. The stakes aren't as high.
Yeah. I'm interested. I couldn't find what thread pitch it is, because my interest would be, well, does it use the traditional AK-47 thread pitch, which I can't recite for the life of me, or does it use the more common thread pitch that's on 22 caliber rifles? So can I throw my 1/2 by 24 suppressor on there? Because suppressing an AK like an actual one, that's very problematic, and it's not really done unless you know for a fact that that barrel was threaded concentrically. So to me, that's one thing is, well, can I put my suppressor on it? Will I have a baffle strike?
Yeah.
And also if it's compatible with other aftermarket buttstocks and grips, are those kind of similarly patterned where the trunnion and stuff, where if you wanted to use a collapsible stock or some of the sweet Magpul stuff that got coming out. I don't know the answer to that. That'd be something that you'd have to call ATI and ask them, hey, Magpul's new MOE AK furniture, can I slap this on the GSG rifle here?
Yeah, because that would be really
My guess
sweet.
is no.
Yeah,
My guess is going to be no, but yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is, for something like this, are you really going to put Magpul furniture on it? Or are you just going to take it out and shoot tin cans with it?
Yeah, true. I do like that the sights are more realistic. So that's a skill that, if you grew up shooting one of these and then you actually got a 7.62 by 39 model, you should be pretty familiar with, the sight picture and all that. So.
Right, and since everything looks to be the same control-wise, that's going to be a good thing too.
Yeah,
cool.
I like it a lot. So the website for that is americantactical.us, and then you can look for the German Sports AK-47 RIA 22 long rifle. Just look under products, and you'll see it under rifles. So next up, we're talking about something from CZ, the CZ 455 American Combo and 22 long rifle, and it comes with a 17 HMR barrel. So this is something that I came across.
Barrels.
Sorry,
it says barrel sets. So how does it interact with the action? Is it a barreled action? You get 2 barreled actions?
No, you get 2 barrels.
And they're retained by, it looks like a pin?
I was watching the video, and that's the only reason I know it's 2 barrels.
It's retained by Czechoslovakian magic. That's all you need to know.
By Czechoslovakian magic. Oh, I mean, the Czechs, they do some good stuff. Like, me and my friend are still kind of gushing over these VZs we got, and they I don't know how familiar you guys are with VZs, but it's like what the AK should have been. the checks are basically like, no, we could do this a little bit better. And they took a lot of similar patterns and kind of improved it. Okay, I'm watching the video. Yeah, it's like a couple set screws hold the barrel in place.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Well, that's cool. I mean,
So
this
yeah,
is, there's no dirt factor in this for me. I'll say that much. It looks like delightfully refined practicality and performance and just a convenient package. Its price is fair and it has a high value as a package. And that is my assessment. It's a yawn.
How very astute of you, sir.
Yeah, it's just it is what it is,
Yeah. So
It's easy to use. Go ahead, sorry.
I was, I like to bring up the MSRP before we get into too many of the juicy deets of it, but I just wanted to throw out there that it's $557.
So 5.25 street.
Yeah, 5.25 street. So my thinking was, I'm doing a rimfire episode, talking a lot about 22 long rifles. Some guys, me and Chad were just talking about this before we started the show, that he still had a hard time finding that rare little unicorn 22 long rifle down where he is in Oregon. So when I go to the store, there's some stores where the 22 shelf is just empty, blank. There's dust accumulating, but the shelf that's got the 17 HMR is just stocked. So, having a rifle that shoots both is actually a really good concept, especially right now in these current economical times where the 22 long rifle is worth its weight in gold, but 17 HMR can be just sitting on the shelf because there's not a lot of people that are shooting it. So being able to swap out the barrels and still do your varmint hunting or your target practice, I would argue with a much more awesome round, because 17 is just flying with mini laser beam, man. And when you hit some soft tissue, that bullet tumbles, and when it tumbles, man, it's just like setting off a little tornado inside something.
Well, plus if you break it down, you're looking at, at 5.25 street price, it's cheaper than buying a 22 and a 17 HMR, at least in a bolt gun. So, you're getting the same.
You're getting, the stock's probably pretty good looking.
Right. I mean, the CZ makes nice bolt action rifles. There is another advantage, like our range where I go, we have an indoor range also, but the indoor range is 22 long rifle only, or shorts. But so, in that case, you could practice on the indoor range where you couldn't use a 17 HMR. You'd have to go outside to the outdoor range, but that's a plus, at least around here.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Something dawned on me, and I don't want to lose it. But
okay.
Continue. I apologize.
No, I was pretty much done. Go
okay,
ahead.
Good. All right. So this is awesome. Change your barrels and all that, but you're gonna have a scope base set up on that receiver, right? You're gonna have a scope on there. So you're gonna run 2 different scopes with quick detaches as well. Like, you see where I'm going with this? You're gonna change your zeros constantly.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to change it every day, so I'm guessing.
Well, not every day, but again, you do have to take the stock off and then take the set screws out to change the barrel.
Right.
But I just it's something to consider, I would say.
Yeah, if it were me, I would probably keep the same scope and just know what I have to adjust it to. Maybe buy one that has quick reset zeros on the turrets or something.
Yeah, that'd be convenient. Or just buy 2 different guns.
Yeah, we're back to that.
Because when we're talking about 22 bolt guns, you can get a Savage Mark II with a bull barrel that's accurate as anything CZ will make for $200, $250 at most, something like that.
Yeah,
so,
I think they're about.
And you can get those in 17 HMR too. So, yeah, for the price of this combo, you could have 2 full rifles. So, if you like CZ, you want to go with that. You want to go with the less clutter of having 2 rifles, okay? But just put that in perspective that you could go get for the same price as this, maybe a little less. For the same price plus optics in the case of Savage, you can get 2 Mark IIs and optics for about the price of this in optics.
I didn't think about that.
To just throw that into perspective. At first, I was like, oh man, 2 rifles, 577, not bad. CZ looking good. Then I'm like, wait, my freaking Mark II kicks butt. And I paid $200 for it. And I had like an $80 scope on it. And it works great. You know? So, who needs 500? You know, just buy another Mark II if you want 17.
The CZ is far better looking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's more aesthetically pleasing. But
it's got a Turkish walnut American style stock. It has a detachable 5-round magazine. The barrels, obviously, the 22 long rifle barrel is a 1/16 twist rate. The 17-inch Mars at 1/9 twist rate. Length of pull is 13.75. You know, some people might think that's not enough or too much for them. It's kind of nicer to have stocks, especially in these calibers, that you can adjust your length of pull. But this is kind of meant as like a very classy gun. Like, this is something that I would almost expect to like inherit or have passed down from a grandparent. You know, just nice bolt action wood stock, good finish on there.
I'll play devil's advocate again. My friend, the first rifle that my friend bought, I bought a 1022. He bought a Savage Mark II with a wood stock. It was like a pale, I don't know what kind of wood it was, but the stock is beautiful. It's a better looking gun than this, because with the way the barrel profile is, and just the style of their receivers, it's a prettier gun than this. So I turned from liking and approving this to not liking it at all. Boo. Go Savage.
All right. Well, I can't put just all gold in the show. I got to give you something to put your perspective on. And
you teased me. You brought me in with the value, and I said, "Wait a minute."
So, if you want to check that out, go to CZ's website, cz-usa.com. Look under products and look for the CZ 455 American Combo. So next up, since Mr. Asner here has been talking up his Savage so much, I actually have a Savage to talk about today, and this is the Savage 42, 22 long rifle and 20 gauge combo. So I'm assuming they got to the model 42 because they took 22 and they added 20. I don't have my GED quite yet, but I think I figured that out. It's kind of interesting looking. It's break action over and under style. It's got kind of a polymer body. First of all, let me get to the MSRP, and then I'll let you guys loose. So you can get it in 2 chamberings, actually technically 4 or 3. I don't know how that works, but you can get it in 22 long rifle and over a 410 bore. Or you can get it in a 22 HMR over a 410 bore. Or you can get it in over a 20 gauge bore. Is that right? Did I goof up? Does it not shoot 20 gauge?
No, I think it's only 410.
Where did I get 20 gauge from? Okay, scrub that. So, the Model 42 is a 22 long rifle or 22 WMR over a 410. Right.
Yeah.
This, I've held one of these before. They're a cool gun. The action is solid. It feels nice opening it. It feels nice closing it. The price, God, I feel like a broken record when I'm on the show, but the upper 4s for the MSRP, that's pricey for this because you can get a lot for that kind of money. especially because there's even a link in the description on the Savage website to youthshootingsusa.com or youth shootings a shooting sports association or something. I think there's like a full words combined with acronyms in a URL, which is somebody should get fired for making up that URL. But yeah, it's a youth shooting sports alliance kind of helped with this, I guess. But for the money, I don't know. I want to love this gun, but I can't.
Somebody wants to love it.
No, it's fun. Like this is for me. This is like the perfect dream impulse gun. You had this thing going for anywhere between $275 and $325. I would have bought one by now, because two things that get me: funky 22s and weird small bore shotguns, preferably break actions. And when you smash those together, it's cool. It's just cool. It has a cool factor to me. It tickles a certain part of my fancy, and for that price, I'm gonna be tickless.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't care for over-under style rifles like this, with a rifle in one side, one top or bottom, and a shotgun in the other. But I think with this one, I'm looking at, if it was actually like Ryan was hoping, in a 22 long rifle and a 20 gauge, I could see how it could kind of be some gun you'd give your teenager to go out and shoot rabbits with or something. But I mean,
not to be argumentative, but I think 22, especially in the Magnum, and 410 are perfectly viable rabbit cartridges.
Yeah, that would be true.
But the other thing is the Youth Shooting Sports Alliance note there is it's a good trainer, because one gun can train a couple disciplines.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
So let's say you have a small 4-H club or whatever, and you're looking for a gun that's safe, easy to use, and versatile. Yeah. And you can only get one, or maybe two for the whole club.
That's the way.
Instead of having to buy 2 rifles, 2 shotguns, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It may kind of be hoping to fill a niche like that, but I feel like that's such a small niche to be filled. But I could see the practicality of that.
Yeah, I can see that practicality.
And it's a good first gun. I would say it's a great first gun.
Yeah.
For
I can see
shooting discipline as well as hunting.
Yes. I was wondering. I was looking for the length of pull to see if it's got a shorter stock for use, but it doesn't look like it. But that doesn't.
It is fairly squat.
Okay.
I am a big guy, but it's a small gun.
Okay, that helps out too, for who they kind of designed it for then.
And again, I don't know. Let me see if the link actually brings you to something specific about this gun, but it mentions a bunch of youth shooting stuff, so it was designed with youth in mind.
Yeah, and in that case, I can see it more than you or I guess, going out and buying one.
Yeah, because without any work, you could go from, all right, shoot this can, Jimmy, to I'm going to toss this bird in the air and shoot it.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a great tool. I think it could be a potentially great tool.
Yes. A great tool.
But for my purchasing style, it's priced out of my impulsiveness.
It's $250 out of your price range.
I feel like this is something that I would impulse buy at like a box store that's not necessarily a gun store, but like I almost feel like I'd pick this up at Walmart if they had it for, $300. I'd be
like that's where you're at with it.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, what? It's two calibers that I don't have anything in, but I want to get into. Because it's like, well, 410. I see that all the time, and while I'm not going to go out and go quail hunting with 410 necessarily, I would much prefer a 20 gauge at the minimum. let's say you're out, with your kid, and the first kind of hunt that you take a youth on is rabbits or squirrels. So you've got 22 caliber for if they feel confident in taking a precise shot, or if it's they're kind of being a little bit more spooky, and you don't really get a stationary target, and they're kind of more dodging around between brush. You got the 410. If you get the one in the 22 Magnum, that's kind of what I was talking about. I have lots of 22 long rifles, but I don't have anything in 22 Magnum. But if I was, 22 Magnum, I mean, people used to take deer with that all the time. It's all about shot play. I mean, if you were out looking for, grouse, because they don't really move around too much, or rabbits with the 410, and you saw a coyote, man, 22 Magnum, hammer that dog down in the dirt. My question would be is, shoot 'em. How's the accuracy, with both?
I would say that based upon the design of it, I think it has a good potential. It's a simple design.
You've handled it, so I mean, I can see from the pictures that the top barrel is the 22 caliber and the bottom barrel is the 410.
Correct.
But what are the controls like if you want to shoot one or the other?
You know what? I apologize. I don't remember exactly. I believe I remember reading that there's a means of selecting. I don't think it operates like like I know it doesn't operate like an over-under, because you do have to cock the hammer. So like when you pull the trigger and it goes bang, the hammer doesn't automatically cock to shoot the other barrel. Basically, it's either like a movable firing pin, or there's a selector to select which. Then you cock the hammer and pull the trigger, because there would be no means of resetting that hammer to hit that second barrel. So it's basically choose a barrel, cock it, shoot it, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's
just based upon design. That's what I would say it is.
Yeah, and it almost looks like it's on the hammer itself in that one picture. It looks like there's, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to see, but it kind of looks like there's something that might be movable on the hammer itself.
I'm trying to look that up for you guys on different websites here.
Right.
But if it was in wood, like I would pay this price if it had like a walnut stock. For some reason, just the plastic kind of makes it feel.
The polymer doesn't feel cheap, though. I'll say that much. It doesn't feel like you talked about, like why the looks of my Mark II versus the CZ. Like, it's not like, it doesn't feel like a super cheap, your average 22, stock that you would see. It's the build quality is good. It's good.
Yeah, and would you really want wood? It's kind of, as opposed to being a trainer, it's kind of a utilitarian style rifle. So I think that's probably why it comes synthetic.
Arguably a survival type rifle, a truck gun where, all weather synthetic. I get that. I just, whenever I see a gun that's last couple of break actions I've looked at, like H&R handy rifles that had that polymer stock, it just it felt like a toy to me. It didn't feel. Maybe I'm just used to when you break an action, you get this nice quality engraved. Like my $20,000 shotguns that I have in my Black Hawk helicopter. It's like, I don't know. Obviously, I was making that up, but I would definitely, if somebody had one and invited me to the range to try it out, I would be going right away because I'd be interested in trying it out. But it feels like, I don't know. I feel like I lump it in the same category as the my plastic or polymer tackle box. Like at some point, it seems like parts start to wear out a little bit, and tolerances, the more that polymer wears. So maybe that's just me, my bias or unprecedented or I don't really have anything to base that on. That's just my initial impressions.
It's anecdotal. Your impressions are relying on a lot of anecdotal stuff that you got going on.
Thank you.
Yes. Cool. Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on this bad boy. It's cool though. It's definitely different. Major manufacturers haven't done anything like that recently to mix it up. So good on them for at least taking a crack at something different.
Yeah, and there's lots of reviews on it. A lot of people that have experience with the M24 rifle, survival
Yep.
rifle that folded. So a lot of people that were fans of that will probably be more gravitative toward this. Um, but I mean, can you imagine one in like 223 and 12 gauge, like the Big Brother? That'd be cool. Anyway, so now we're going to get on to the main topic, the panel discussion of reviews. So it looks like Chad, since you didn't really quite stay around long enough on the last episode, we're going to give you another crack at it.
Okay, well, it's a pretty quick one, so that'll make it nice. What I'm going to do is the Tango Down Battle Grip, which is an AR-15 grip, and it's made by Tango Down Products. Imagine that. Basically, I'll hold it up here if you can see it. It's the grip. It's got a different angle. Some could say more ergonomic or less ergonomic, depending on how you look at it. Basically, it's a storage grip is basically the key features of it. And another extremely nice function is it is watertight. They use some sort of seal screw to mount it to the handle, and then it's got this little rubber compartment on the back that will hold 2 batteries, and you kind of have to press it in to get it to seal, which is a good positive seal, and it is also has a nice texture on it to keep it in your hand. So I'll set that down now. And like I said, it is kind of quick review, but they come in, you can get them in black, foliage green, and flat dark earth. Basically, I started doing a review on it. It should be up by the time the podcast comes out. So we got the target market is pretty much anybody who wants a battery storage grip for their AR-15 and doesn't like the standard A2 grip. The features and benefits are the battery storage, the grip texture, the ergonomics, which I actually like the grip. I've had it for quite a few years now, and it's held up pretty good. We're going pretty good here. Like I said, it's pretty quick. The thing I noticed that's kind of rare about it is the MSRP on it is $35.93 from Tango Down, but I could not find it for cheaper and it's $36.99 at Brownells, and I checked Amazon and there's like $37, $38. I checked a few other places and I can't seem to find it for under retail or under MSRP. I didn't look everywhere.
That's strange.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too, and I wonder if maybe for 2015 they dropped the price or something on it.
Yeah, maybe retailers have to catch up.
Yeah, they may.
Old SKUs, new SKUs, sort of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. They make 2 different models. I'm not sure what the other model is. This is the BG16 one, which is for the AR-15 platform, and then they make a BG17, which is for the AR-10 platform. And it looks like they're both pretty much the same grip. I don't have any other people's reviews on it. I remember reading one that said that they did not like the grip angle on it. They said it was too slanted back for their preferences. Me, I happen to like it. It fits the way I shoot, so it works for me. And the pros of it are the grip texture. It's watertight, it's ergonomic, and then the cons, pretty much the only thing I could say is that the grip angle is odd for some. I will point out, I'll grab it. It has this little tang here that covers the little hole where your AR has a place where you can pinch your fingers in, which is kind of an added plus. I'll probably add that in. So overall, I gave it a score of 8, which is great. Like I said, I've had it for quite a while, so it's been long enough that I can test it, and even if I've shot it in the rain and stuff like that, so I know that it still gives you good grip on wet hands. So that's pretty much about the extent of it. You guys got any questions on it, or?
Nope.
Nope.
Did you mention different colors it comes in?
Yeah, foliage green, flat dark earth, and black looks like the colors that came in.
Okay.
They used to have, which I'm sure, they used to have an OD, so there might be a few of those floating around. Which is
And did you? I'm sorry. What did you give it as far as the score?
I gave it an 8.
Cool.
I kind of went round and round in my head. I was like, well, do I give it a 7.5? Do I give it an 8? I'm like, well, I like it. I'll give it an 8. I kind of, like I said, the angle is a little more slanted than maybe a little more than an A2 grip, but quite a bit more than like one of the Magpul MOEs or something, because those are pretty straight up and down. So that gives you an idea.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for doing that review, Chad.
Yeah.
Sam, what the heck are you reviewing this week, Sam?
I made my choice. I am going to be reviewing the Magpul, iPhone cases.
Well, we know it works.
We do know it works. Now I know I am a generation behind in iPhone technology. And I don't believe Magpul is making the cases for the 6 yet. I'm not sure, actually. Are they?
I think it's on their website.
They are. But I've had one for an iPhone 4 that I used for quite a while. And so now I'm on my iPhone 5, which I'll probably have for another year, at least until I get, the 7 or whatever is out by that point. It's a no-nonsense case at a great price. And if you're a gun guy and you don't want any of those funky, frilly, weird, normal people cases, these kick major butt. They protect your phone. They're not a life-proof. They're not an OtterBox. They're not going to protect it from flooding. But from drops and stuff, they're going to do the job very well. Target market is clearly gun people. Features and benefits include, now again, I'm not reading off a review, I'm kind of just going through the prompts, but some things that I've noticed are, well, the feature benefit, obviously it's a Magpul polymer product, so they're using their proprietary polymers. It's going to be durable. It's going to protect your phone. Also, by design, there's a touch, a bit of a bezel. It's indented or raised, whatever you'd say, but the case comes up higher than the screen. So like if you are in the habit of setting your phone down, unless there's rocks on the table you're setting it down at, you're not going to scratch up your screen by setting it down and picking it up screen down because it's raised. The part with the camera on the back is again recessed for more protection, and it locks in place super tight, real nice. Like once you kind of squeeze your phone in there, it just pops into place and you're good to go. These come in a whole mess of colors. I am rocking stealth gray because I think that's the best thing since sliced bread. But all the colors, including like oranges and pinks and blues, and they got all sorts of colors out there.
Which case is it? Is it the field case or is it the bump case?
The bump case.
Okay.
And I know they have two different names. I don't know the differences.
Well, the field case is just one piece, and the bump case actually has an interior that's of a different construction that is kind of more meant for shock absorption. Not to interfere with your review, I was just curious.
No, please do, because this is the bump case, and it's a one piece. So.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's as far as the field case goes, it's like they just molded the case. There's no other materials. There's no layering. It's just a solid piece of their proprietary polymer that wraps around your phone with no kind of shock absorption built into it. So it looks like the bump case has. Yeah, exactly. I had one, and I just threw it out last week because it had gotten too old and didn't fit anymore. But so the bump case has the hard polymer shell and the semi-rigid liner that gives it some inner shock absorption without making it unnecessarily bulky like a giant OtterBox. So I'll let you continue.
Okay, yeah, and as I am looking at it more, I could tell, like when you said two-piece, I was thinking like different actual physical layers, but there's a different texture to different parts of the case, and it looks just like the field case. That's why it's kind of confusing. But
yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. Anywho, it's awesome. I like these cases. I am stepping down from a life proof. I had a life proof, and I absolutely love the life proof, but I lost the gasket, so it's not really waterproof anymore. So. I'm not going to trick myself and accidentally dunk it by accident. So until I get a warranty repair on that, because it is cracking too, until LifeProof replaces that, or I replace the gasket myself, I'm going to rock the Magpul case because, it differs on Amazon. Sometimes you'll find it for like 15, 16, 17, 18, depending on the color and seller. But the gasket for the LifeProof on Amazon was $16. This case was $18. So I got a new case, and it's Magpul, and it kicks butt. So go Magpul. MSRP. I'll fill these details in when I do the review, but you get them anywhere from 15, 16 up to 20, and the sixes might be a little bit more. I need it now availability, Amazon Prime, free 2-day shipping. I also have seen these in the wild at gun stores before, but don't count on it. It's kind of an odd thing for a gun store to carry, and it's an odd brand for like your Best Buy to carry. Like Best Buys aren't stocking these, Walmarts aren't stocking these, but some well-stocked gun shops do carry these. I need it now. Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, you can get it now. Yeah, pros, fit and finish is awesome. Protection is good. And just the cool factor, it's Magpul, and it's got ridgy parts for a firm grip when extracting from pocket and putting in the ear. It's high speed, low drag. Anywho, I give it an 8. It does what it does. It works.
Yeah, I was gonna add in that mine's just a field case, but I had a different case, and the texture that Magpul puts on them is actually really nice. You can actually, like Sam said, you can actually hold on to it, and that's what I didn't like about my other case was it was slick, and so you'd pick it up, and it, like if you were moving, I had it like literally like fly out of my hands and across the room, and but with the Magpul case, it doesn't do that, so that's a nice addition.
Yeah, I gotta imagine that this was a huge seller for them. Um, if you don't have an iPhone, they also make it for the Galaxy S5, S3, S4, and they also have iPad cases as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a field case, and the fact that it did not protect the screen from, I dropped my phone at the range where there's brass and graphite on the ground all the time, and then as far as rain and snow, I wanted something that fully encased the phone, so that's why I got a LifeProof. But I actually had the Magpul field case on there for a long time. So I think I got my iPhone maybe 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, and it was on there probably 2.5 years out of that time. I wear my stuff hard, so it was orange when I got it, but it had gotten really dirty, and just working with engines and stuff, it got all sorts of grimy on there. So the only thing I didn't like about it is that it seems like when I pop it out to kind of maintain it and then pop it back in, then it kind of loosened up a little bit. So it was really easy to pop my phone out of the case. I mean, I can do it with one hand, by just like holding on the side and pushing out.
Too.
Yeah. So. But they're so cheap that you could just buy a new one, and it's all the tolerances are still there, and it still comes in way under getting an OtterBox or a LifeProof. So
yeah, unless you get Chinese copy OtterBoxes for like $15 each. Yeah, those work too. They look cool.
Yeah.
No, not waterproof though. So.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of LifeProof. It was hard to give it up.
What's that?
I was just saying, I am a huge fan of my LifeProof. It was kind of hard to give up that fuzzy security blanket of proof everything, but I've been wanting to throw a Magpul one on this because they are so slim, and they're awesome. That review will hopefully be out in like a week or so. Sorry, go ahead.
Plus, you can sleep at night soundly knowing that you probably got the same iPhone case as Chris Costa, and if that doesn't put you to sleep soundly, then I don't know what will.
Yeah.
So what I'm reviewing this week is the Lyman Brass Tapper. It's a gunsmithing hammer that comes with 3 different heads. So it's got this, and it's 3 different heads, kind of 3 different hardnesses. So they got a steel head, and it just threads right on the end, and you can change them out pretty easy. There's a brass head, and I've got this one stored on the bottom, and then there's a nylon head, which is actually on the other side of this hammer. So it's a double-sided hammer. All these heads are threaded, so you can just take them off, move them around. If you find that you use the nylon side and the brass side, and you almost never use the steel because you can have an actual hammer for that, then you can just keep the steel on the bottom of the handle and just utilize whatever 2 heads you use the most. So this comes in handy for you do-it-yourself, amateur, and professional gunsmiths or armorers, because having the right hammer for the job is a big deal. And I speak that with experience because I can count on 2 hands the amount of guns that I've actually buggered up by being impatient and using the wrong hammer for disassembly because I got frustrated. Once again, the Ruger Mark III. I have had to take that to the gunsmith and have them basically kind of rebend some of the internal guide rails because I was beating on it with a hammer to try and disassemble it. And it was my first gun, so I can claim ignorance and be okay with that. But a little hammer like this, it's for those more delicate jobs. So you've got your harder end, obviously, if you're not worried about marring the finish of anything, you've got steel. the brass is also, it's softer than most metals, most steels, most alloys. So you should be able to use this brass head on something that's a harder metal and not mar it. And the nylon head is the softest out of the three. And so if you really don't want to mar the finish on your gun, whether it's bluing, parkerization, anodizing, Cerakote, although I'm pretty sure Cerakote would hold up anyway, hydro dipping, if you are trying to drive in a pin and you want to make sure that if you miss the pin or you somehow slip, that you're not going to ruin the finish on your gun by hitting it with the steel end. So it's kind of nice. You got different heads for different types of jobs. The other nice thing too is I'm rattling this around. You can kind of hear something clinging. If I take off the additional head that's screwed into the end, there's actually a brass punch that stores inside the handle. So you've always got a little brass punch on you. So you can actually throw this in your kit or just leave it on your bench. And if you need to drive the pins out of your shotgun or your pistol, if you've got an AR-15 with disassembly takedown pins that are, the receivers are just mated really well, so it's really hard to get those pins out. It's kind of nice to have a tool with the hammer at all times to be able to do that. Both the punch and the handle have some really nice knurls. They're both stripped out of brass. The hammer has a really nice heft to it, so that gives you the kinetic energy. You might think that you need a giant hammer to persuade like a stubborn roll pin. You really don't. You could probably just use this, and it applies, kind of more focused kinetic energy and help drive some of those stubborn pins that aren't moving. Yes, you could drive them out with a regular carpenter's hammer, like I have been for a long time, but you're on the risk of just overkill, man. You're gonna overswing it. You're gonna, you're kind of gonna leave scars on your guns, and I have quite a few that have some I call them love scars, because obviously I love my guns and I'm trying to disassemble them and clean them, but a little bit of brutish tool work and you're gonna leave some marring on there. So basically, it's a hammer. Pretty simple to review. So the claim to fame is the ultimate no-mar gunsmithing hammer and drift pin tool. Now you can buy this hammer in two different ways. You can get it in the standalone, which I did. So it just came with the hammer, the heads, and the one pin punch inside, and that was MSRPs for $21.50, or you can get it retail for about $20, $19.99. Or you can buy it in the deluxe kit, which actually comes with a wooden, like, not carrying case, but just like a wooden board that's got like a nice milled out spot for each one of the punches and the hammer. And that MSRP is for about $53.95, or you can get it for about $49.99, $50. So I've got links to Brownells in the review notes on the Firearms Insider website, and so you can click on those and go over to the Brownells page where you can get this hammer cheaper. So kind of rewinding a little bit, the target market is anyone that's doing gunsmithing, whether they're professional, they're an amateur, they're just a do-it-yourself kind of guy that has some specific firearms that they're disassembling them. Maybe there's disassembly, and then there's field stripping, and then there's disassembly. Like, you really need to take it down to its base parts for changing out things. You might need a hammer like this. Every gunsmith professional has a hammer like this. It's a brass hammer or a Delrin hammer. They might have 3 different hammers. Well, you can do all 3 different things with just this one. So that's kind of the big selling point on it. Features and benefits, obviously it's double-headed. You have the 3 interchangeable heads, nylon, brass, and steel. It's got nice knurling on the brass handle as well as the drift pin, and then back to the pinch, I called it the drift pin. The punch has knurling too, and it stores inside the handle, like I said. There's no other aesthetic options. What others are saying is, on Brownells, there's a user review. It says, this punch and hammer kit is a great value for a starter Gunworks toolbox. Quite frankly, most people wouldn't know just how expensive good tools can get, and thus wouldn't know what to expect. For the price that Brownells is charging for this kit, you're not going to do much better. This hammer is very good for light tapping on pins on anything from Glocks and 1911s to AR-15s. It's not a heavy-duty hammer, but it's not meant to be. Brass hammers are for delicate work, and this one does its job. The brass punch has come in handy once or twice, though I really haven't banged on it too much. If you're looking for a professional kit, this isn't really it, but if you need something to start you off working on your own guns, this kit is worth the money in my opinion. So obviously the punch is constructed out of brass. So if you're going to be wanting to strike the punch with the brass head, if you use the steel, obviously, you know, either of those two metals is going to take some wear, and that's obviously going to punch. So I would use the brass head for the brass punch. Already mentioned the price points. If you need it now, I've got links to Lyman's website as well as Brownells. I would always recommend Brownells because they are more affordable. They get a little bit better street price on that. So overall, I gave it an 8.0 as great. The pros, the dual hammerhead for variable job types without having to just reach for a different tool. The third head that stows in case you're not using it, and also doubles as a cap for the bottom so you don't lose it. You know, and that brass punch is a really nice addition. The cons, the biggest con that I gave this hammer is this nylon head. This nylon is all one piece. So the threads are also nylon. So sooner or later, you're threading nylon into what I assume is some kind of tool steel. You're gonna wear down threads eventually, or prematurely if like you don't thread this thing all the way flush. So if there's a little bit of a gap there, and then you're really using the nylon for something that's the steel end or an actual like dead blow hammer or mallet is good for. You could possibly warp, damage, or strip those threads, and then that would make the nylon head useless because they're kind of more susceptible to wear. Obviously, they're not. No, they're nylon. So that's the only con I would give it. Maybe they could have made a nylon head that was more like an insert, or had some kind of insert inside, and then the threads could have been steel or something. So overall, I gave it an 8.0. Yeah, like I said, pretty quick review. I use this all the time. It's kind of one of the must-haves I have in my gun doctor bag. It's even small enough to take to the range with you if you feel like you need to have one at the range if something goes wrong and you need a hammer with you that's not going to, you know, destroy the firearm. Yeah. You guys have any questions about that?
No, it looks like I need one of those, though.
Yeah, I definitely do. I usually end up hitting and knocking. I think I built the whole AR with like using a roll of duct tape as like my bludgeon, and like some other piece of metal to like. I've used some bootleg tools to put things together before. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly.
And having a proper hammer would certainly be beneficial in the future.
Yeah, I'm very guilty of the same thing. In fact, the couple AR-15 lower receivers and upper receivers that I bought and disassembled or stripped and then bought the parts kit, especially like a lower, you're going to want a kit or a hammer like this so you're not having a giant, you know, carpenter hammer or ball peen hammer. And because I've got AR-15s that, you know, the perforation around those pins are just all scraped up because, you know, I went too fast. I didn't put down some tape on the receiver to kind of, you know, act as a cushion or a barrier. So having something like this that's more delicate for, you know, tapping in those roll pins, that would be the money right there. So that was a pretty quick review too. For the tech gadget or app segment of this podcast, I've actually kind of hijacked it and turned it into a low-tech gadget segment. So we're talking about since this is a rimfire episode, we're talking about a 22 reloader kit. This is by the Sharpshooter company, called the Sharpshooter 22 long rifle reloader. It's pretty much old world technology with the tools are modernized for the 21st century. You know, as you may or may not know, or if you felt the sting of it, .22 long rifle is sometimes too expensive to afford or just not available at all because of its demand. So you might be thinking, why the heck would anyone reload .22 long rifle? Like, the time and the cost that you put into it, you're better off just going out and buying a box. And I would have agreed with you 5 years ago. But now it's coming down to a point where some people might not have a choice if they can't find it. So a couple listeners and some other people have sent me links to this so that I could share it on the show with you. And by reading over the website, it doesn't look all that. I thought it would be more difficult to do. It actually looks like you could get the hang of it and bust out some rounds. You know, whether you knock out 100 in an evening, sit in front of the TV, I don't know if you'll get that speed, but the fact of the matter is, you know, even if it's a, you know, stuff hit the fan scenario where, you know, there's no ammo on the shelves at all, and this is something that you have in your bug-out bag, you know, you can reload your own .22 by using materials that come with the kit, as well as, you know, getting scrap lead from places and melting it down yourself. Have you guys taken a look at this?
Yeah, I did, and I got to it too late. I can't watch the video and listen while we're still talking. But I was trying to see like the start to finish video to get a better idea of realistically one round from casing to bang again. How long does that take?
I'm guessing too long, but if you can't find 22 ammo, I guess maybe too long is worth it.
I could see its utility as a survival tool. But then again, if you're going to bother storing 22 projectiles and you know, powder for 22 and extra primer juice magic, whatever you're using, and this funky little plier thing, start stockpiling more 22. You know, have guns that maybe you don't have calibers you shoot that frequently, but are common calibers. You know, I hate 40, but it might not be a terrible idea to buy a handgun in 40 because guess what? If there's a problem, you know, 40 is a fairly common caliber that I may find, you know, in a post-SHTF scenario, you know. So I just think I know that I would go nuts trying to reload 22. Like, I just feel like the return on your time is going to be a very unbalanced ratio.
Well, I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures, and some of us, you know, for me, example, I'm not desperate for 22 long rifle at all, where I'm going to sit down and painstakingly do this, but it might come to a point where I might need to, or somebody out there listening might already be at that point where it's like, you know what, tired of it not being on the shelves, tired of it being sold out online. Maybe they're a reloading aficionado and they're interested in it just for the mere hobby of it. Everybody knows reloading is more of a hobby than an accessory to shooting, or it's kind of both, but it takes on its own life. So I agree with you that it's going to have a, you know, you're not going to be cranking out 100 rounds. I don't even know if you'll crank out 50 rounds in an evening. Maybe you might be just doing, you know, a couple dozen at a time, but the fact that you can is kind of nice, you know, that whole independent spirit of, you know, I don't need to rely on the store to get ammo for a rifle that may possibly be my only source of getting food.
All right, so you could also get, by that same principle, muzzle loaders. You know, do they make relatively accurate muzzle-loading pistols? Like, you can get like those cap and ball style like clones that they make. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like muzzle-loading revolvers. Like, get yourself a muzzle-loading revolver, a jug of powder, and those projectiles, and you'll be able to reload faster on the fly than, oh, hold on, I ran out of 22. It takes me 20 minutes to make one cartridge. Hold on, you know. I just think it doesn't have much efficacy in regards to Like I don't find much utility in it because you
Okay.
can get 22, but people say you can't because they don't want to pay more than they used to. It's
Right.
possible. It's out there.
Okay. Well, I really do appreciate your perspective, and I share a lot of that same perspective on this product. I just wanted to let people know that it exists and it's out there. If
Oh, it's a
it's
complete
not my cup of tea,
curiosity.
it's yeah. So
I love the
the
charm.
MSRP alone, the MSRP alone is enough is like the first hurdle you gotta get over if you want to get one of these. It's $150
Nope.
for the kit.
Nope.
Yeah, well,
Keep it.
they on their website they do claim that they're coming out with a more economic version in the future. I don't know what corners they're going to cut in order to make it more economical, but that's what they're stating. So right now there's a reloading tool that's made out of 7075 T6 aluminum, so it's stronger. They're claiming that the strong strength of the aluminum, lightweight, and compact. Really easy to put in like a bug-out bag or kind of more as a survivor tool that doesn't take up a lot of bulk room. And you should be they give like a price range. Like if you're looking for an affordable option for Bolt 22 long rifle at a reasonable price, $8 to $15 per brick, then this is the reloader for you. My first thought is, dear Lord, how long does it take you to reload a whole brick?
Yeah, but $8 to $15 per brick. I'm listening.
Yeah, no, that's a good price for a brick. That was the standard 10 years ago, but now bricks are going for $30 to $40, and that's fair. They can go much higher than that if someone's trying to gouge you. So
Yeah.
what it comes with is bullet molds. So it comes with 2 bullet molds, a 25 grain solid point bullet, which is designed to create kind of like a hyper velocity of 1720 feet per second. And then in a pinch, could be loaded without powder using strike anywhere matches instead of the propellant that they're supplying. So that's kind of nice, is that you could take strike anywhere matches, grind up the powder, and use that as your propellant. Then again,
so
time.
I just thought about, instead of, on top of buying this $150 kit, you also have to buy $500 worth of strike anywhere matches to keep in your larder in the event that everything goes to heck and you need to start using this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're hungry, you only need 1 bullet.
Yeah, and I'd rather spend $40 and get that pack of 525 of them.
Right. I mean, you're going to need the matches anyway to cook the squirrel, so... Anyway, before we get too sidetracked, let's try and blow through all these things that it comes with.
Oh.
I'll go quick. The second bullet mold is going to make a 38 grain round nose bullet. It gives you a subsonic 22 LR, but you can also make it high velocity. So it just depends on what the propellant you're putting in there. So then it comes with a crimping tool. It comes with a rim cleaner and primer packer. Obviously, as you use a 22 caliber cartridge, you got to clean out the residue on the inside and then repack it with propellant. They give you an eyedropper that allows you to add the primer compound, which is like kind of a liquid, or you add a liquid to a compound. And then there's a double powder dipper that gives you 2 different types of loads, subsonic and supersonic. Obviously, you can put more grains in one than the other. There's a powder compound funnel that you obviously use the funnel to put the stuff in the case, and there's an instructional pamphlet. So, is all that worth $150? I don't think so. I think that this kit should be something you get somebody. I mean, $50 is what I
think about it this way. This is like they have there's a lot of cost that goes into this. So 20 like that, those weight 22 caliber bullet molds probably aren't already out there, right? So they had to figure out
machine those
and get those made, right? So you have a unique machine tool. Those size powder dippers need to be made. everything. There's a lot of machining that goes into getting the items, and it's expensive for those reasons. But
Yeah.
yeah, I still need to know how long does it take. Let's say 10 rounds. 10 rounds. So how long does 10 rounds take? If you tell me an hour, no, I can't. But if I could knock it out in if I could do a minute, maybe a minute per round, right?
Yeah.
I'd be interested because that kind of works for me.
Yeah. It looks like the bullet molds are integrated into the crimping tool. So I would argue that it's a bullet mold tool that also has a crimping function. And then also I was reading some of the reviews, and one thing you got to know is that because that propellant is ignited by shock, you don't want to be hammering these bullets in with a tool or anything like that. You've got to seize by hand. So you don't accidentally.
So it doesn't use traditional priming compounds and propellants?
No, well, 22 rimfire, you know how it works.
Yeah, I know how it works, but I mean, I guess they're just saying just be super cautious.
There's a chance that if you've got it sitting on your bench and you're hammering the bullet into the case, that you're going to cause the case's rim to ignite itself under pressure.
I thought they're saying be super cautious because we got some funky primer compound going on.
Yeah, it's not like
trying to wrap my head around reloading 22 here.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, if you're interested on it, go to their website and you can read all you want on it. It's 22, the numbers 22lrreloader.com. If you type in 22 reloader, you're gonna find it. It's the sharpshooter. They've got a Facebook page and a YouTube video, a YouTube channel, so you can check out all their videos and see if it's going to be worth your time. But we've all seen how a simple scare and some people buying up ammo, and then the gougers come out, kind of creates this trickle down effect that this might be worth it to some people. Just not myself.
Yeah, I'm going no on this one too.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I mean, if you do each individual part separately, say you sit down one afternoon and you cast 100 bullets or 200 bullets, and then the next afternoon you inspect and clean 200 cases, and then so you might just be able to reload a brick, but I don't see it being done in an afternoon.
Right,
it might take you
time.
Yeah, but it's in a nice, convenient tool that you can throw into a bug-out bag, or put it in your nuclear missile bunker, and it's just something for you to have if you need it.
That and a lead ingot and a ton of matches.
Yeah.
That versatility of being able to use strike anywhere matches is kind of cool, though.
Yeah. Well, you can reload primers with strike anywhere match heads. You know that? You just hammer the firing pin impression out, and then you grind up match heads and you put it inside the primer cup, and then you just very carefully seat it into the case without spilling the match powder, and bam, you're good to go.
Huh.
Yeah.
You can throw something. Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, there's no listener feedback to speak of this week. Once again, we're plugging all the podcasts on the Firearms Radio Network. So listen and subscribe to This Week in Guns. If you did not catch up on what happened in guns this last week with industry news, political stuff, if somehow you didn't catch the news that the ATF is backing off green tip ammo for the moment, all that stuff's going to be covered in detail with sources on thisweekinguns.com. So you can download that podcast and listen to that and catch up on the news that you care about. And then I would also say Sam here has his podcast that he co-hosts, the Guns of Hollywood podcast. You should listen to that too. Isn't that right?
If my voice doesn't sound familiar, shame on you. Please check out me and Allie over at Guns of Hollywood. We have a really good time over there, taking a look at some of our favorite films, some of our lesser favorite films, and take a look at all the guns, weapons, and tactics, and the performances, and the movie. So it's equal parts movie, equal part guns, but from a gun guy's perspective. And we have a good time over there. Actually, just before hopping on here, got done recording Expendables, which was interesting to watch. It was fun. Anywho, yeah, check us out, gunsofhollywood.com. Also, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Guns of Hollywood.
Cool. So send questions, comments, or feedback to podcast@firearmsinsider.tv or cross@firearmsradio.tv. Remember to subscribe to this podcast and leave us an iTunes review if you'd like to win stuff in the future. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network by going to www.firearmsradio.tv/iTunes or just searching Firearms Radio Network or Firearms Radio in your mobile phone podcast app. And be sure to visit the Firearms Insider website for reviews and future industry coverage. So I would like to thank you for giving me about 2 hours of your time, and hope everyone has a great week. Thank you, Sam and Chad, for joining me.
You're welcome,
Thank
Ryan.
you. Thanks, Ryan.
Always a pleasure, fellas. So everyone have a good, safe week, and I will catch you on the next episode.
Awesome.
Bye.
Yep.